Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Welcome to Criminality Podcast, the show we started for people like us who love reality TV. We know it's not a crime, even though there are a lot of crimes. And this is a special, I'm not going to call it an emergency, but it's a special edition
emergency
episode.
Adjacent, yeah.
Yeah, emergency adjacent episode where we've got to talk about the reunions, the Vanderpump Rule, Scandoval. It's still an ongoing conversation, Melissa. So I know everyone's talking about it. So we decided to push off our new episode for 2 weeks from now. So in 2 weeks, new episode Melissa's going to do. Today, we're going to talk about part 2 of the Vanderpump Rules reunion. But before that, welcome home, Melissa.
Hi. Thank you. Nice to be
to
here.
My home, to my Zoom,
I know.
to our listeners' homes. Yeah, we were, you had us worried there for a minute. You got pretty sick and you're doing so much better. You look amazing. For everyone who can't see her face, she's glowing.
Totally.
But how are you? Seriously.
I am doing pretty okay. Rebekah, you've been everywhere though. Rebekah was kind enough to fill in for me on Moms and Mysteries, and only positive
That's one
things.
place.
Yeah. But only positive things. You know how if like,
Okay.
in something like that, you worry because like, you just don't know what people are going to say. And like, even though they think they're making a compliment, it's not a compliment, or, you know, like I like her, but she's not as good as those kind of things. None of that. It was all very positive because you're the best. So I had no real doubts about that. Don't remember setting it up. So that goes ahead and tells you really like my brain. I remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember actively doing that.
Wow.
So there's like 2 days that I don't have much memory of.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could really like, you guys could have had
Did
fun
you think
with
I
me.
was like, hijacking your
No,
life?
I mean, I would have
Did you
been
wake up
fine.
and go, who does this bee think she is?
It was until after that I was thinking about like what had gone on, and I was like,
Oh my
and I was looking
gosh.
back at messages, and I'm like, oh, I set
I
that
fully
up.
asked her. She's like, God, I'm gone for one day and Rebekah just comes in my life. I'm going to come home and she'll be tucking my kids in.
I mean, God bless you if you do.
Yeah, I would be happy to.
Start that over. Yeah. So
Wow, that's so interesting.
it is. So I was in the hospital for, I think, 5 days. When on Sunday, got back Friday, I had pneumonia, which I knew going in, but it turned into sepsis or opposite. I don't know how that works. And yeah, it was kind of scary. It got real scary one day. Another day I don't remember much about, where they basically told me they had me on oxygen. There's something past oxygen where it's like force flow. It's like heated something. I don't know. But it's like when they put it on me, I remember saying something about like, am I supposed to taste it? Like, 'cause it was so
my gosh.
extreme. And anyway, yeah, because I'm like, I feel like I'm choking because I'm getting too much oxygen.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but
that there was one day you were scared.
Yeah, and they were saying you have one more step, and then it's like intubation or whatever.
Oh my God.
And I said, well, am I going to get to go home? He's like, I don't know, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
I remember verbatim what you said. I don't know if this is is it okay to say?
I don't care.
You texted me that the doctor said, if we don't get your sepsis down and your blood pressure up, it's not when you're going home, it's if.
Okay. Well, I don't remember that. But
that's what you texted me.
Oh my God.
And that's when I really, this is not about me, but that's when I really got really scared.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, my blood pressure was like,
no, don't be sorry.
86 over 38. It was just crashing. So then I couldn't get
so low.
Everything it was just a disaster. But immediately after that doctor, which I got to tell my husband that he, I'm sure, is protecting me by not reminding me of that at this point. But yeah, wow, I'm like having a whole epiphany. My eyes are tearing up. No, it's okay.
I didn't mean to give you PTSD.
No.
It's really upsetting and really horrific the way he delivered that.
But the funny, like if this was a comedy, what would happen is what happened, which is the respiratory person comes in immediately and says, if you don't calm down, I have to put you on the next level of oxygen. Meanwhile, I am a stone cold believer in Wellbutrin and Zoloft, both of which I hadn't had for 2 days. And I'm fully panicking and I'm like, can someone just give me like meds? Yeah, I'm like, I'm off my meds. I'm literally off my meds. So once they gave me a Xanax, which me and Schwartz both apparently need Xanax, I felt like mine was more of an emergency situation than his.
I'm going to, co-sign
that.
Yeah,
and things started getting better like the next day. And I'm home, so that's all that matters. But yeah.
Well, it matters a lot, but really what happens to you there matters a lot too. And it's really serious. And I was really grateful every time you texted.
Oh, nice.
It's just like proof of life and like your sense of humor. You never lost your sense of humor, which was a huge comfort. For me, again, major struggle over here. I'm like shocked at like how you're rebounding and recording and like wanting to get back in your life, and like I'll follow your lead, but like you're incredible.
Thanks. I mean,
we're just so glad you're
I'm
here.
pretty sure I'm conscious at this point. There was at least a couple days when I got home where I was like, am I in a small coma? I just don't know.
Well, also Scandoval's still going on. You're like, no, surely this should be over by
How are we still doing this? I know. And I wasn't watching a lot of TV, which was really hard. I guess couldn't or didn't. I would just stare at things.
You were fighting for your life. Yeah.
My body had other
fish
things
to fry.
My brain was like, actually, Melissa, if we could just use the last remaining brain cells to like keep you alive, that'd be great. Scandoval will be here after. Yeah. But Rebekah, that leads me to remember I watched season 4 and season 5 of Real Housewives of Miami prior to hospitalization. Well, I think I finished like 2 episodes. Right. Magic. Beautiful. Beginning to end. Chef's kiss. There's nothing out there like it. It's like when I brought to you Married to Medicine. What that did for you, this did for me.
That is the equivalent. That's right. The joy. Because Sister Wives, we can't call it a straight exchange of joy because that's so torrid with mess. Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Miami, these later seasons, we're equal now. Like we have given each other the equal gift of the greatest gift that keeps on giving. And God, though, it did just send you into the hospital, though. I don't want to think there's a connection, but
I don't think there is. I will say, as soon as I got in the hospital and like was still conscious and in my right mind, I did realize on TLC was the episode of Sister Wives with Robin with COVID in the hospital.
Yeah, no, we discussed that actually. I don't know if you remember.
I do. I remember you telling me like not to watch that. Like that's not good.
No, let's not do that.
So if you were
Miami is beautiful. So anyone on the fence, you've heard it now from both of us, and we're different. We agree a lot, but we also don't always. So this is now like 2 fairly different points of view coming together to say, watch it.
It's so fun, beautiful, wacky,
so fun,
zany,
gorgeous.
Just all the things that make you love Housewives. This is what it is. And I only watched 4 and 5. I watched one of the earlier ones, but you're right. You can just skip right to 4 and 5.
I think you can just start. It's worth it just to get into the good stuff.
Never been happier.
Oh, man.
I think it might have saved me. I think Alexa's song, didn't I say that? I said something like,
it has healing powers. According to her. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I'm here to testify.
I believe, yeah, in the story of your life, they're gonna be like, what do you attribute your newfound health and wellness to? And you'll be like, well, Miami's on fire, so am I. How are you feeling? Fuego. Perfect. Well, just truly happy to be back on the Zooms with you and ready to talk some Vanderpump Rules.
Let's do it.
Shall we? And this isn't something we do very often. We've done a couple recaps, so just pardon us, bear with our note taking, which may or may not make sense. But I mean, I did it chronological.
True.
I did it as I watched the show. So let's just see.
Let's go for it. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing I've written is James, stay in your seat, and just Andy pleading with him, like, can you just, but you have to stay in your seat. It was very grade school fidgety. Like he could not.
But I don't think it was grade school anything that was in that bathroom. I've never seen anyone need to use the restroom to pee so much. No. And I don't think he was drinking anything the entire time he was on stage.
No.
But he had to pee.
I don't think he was drinking anything. But there are a lot of bathroom breaks and but not even attempting to kind of put them in natural segues or transitions. Like he would just jump up and go. It was weird.
And then he would come back calmer, which that was a little, he would come back and like apologize, which I was like, well, I don't know what bathroom break does that to you. Is that a number 1 or number 2? I have no idea.
Right. Yeah. As in uppers or downers?
Yeah.
No. So I think it officially begins this segment with Lala, who's really undergoing a major storyline of her own, but has been completely buried, which is unfortunate because certainly in another era, without what happened with Raquel, this would have gotten a lot more airtime because it's pretty huge. But we learn, what I wrote down is that we learn that she adds to Andy's statement about Randall having the spokesperson saying that it's the same one who represented Harvey Weinstein. And wow.
Yeah, I know. She made sure to get that in. Yeah,
I feel like you didn't break the story about him, but you definitely precursored it.
Wasn't mine before the LA Times article?
It was right before it. It was right before it. And we both were like, wait a minute, Randall had like a real career in Hollywood. Like we just thought he was kind of like a fake Hollywood person, but he'd actually done all these movies. No, I learned so much in that episode and then the lid was blown.
More. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm a whistleblower. Who knows? Maybe the LA Times heard our
Listen
episode.
To that episode.
No, I actually.
A little credit, please.
I know. Have you seen the Hulu thing on?
Not yet. I'm going to watch it.
I think it's just one episode. I don't like how Hulu, and some of them do that where it shows like one episode. So you think, okay, is there a second episode? But now it's been more than a week. So I can't imagine it's another episode, but it doesn't end in a place where it's like it seems
does
like
it feel resolved?
It didn't. And if it was, it was very anticlimactic, which I guess is fine because it's real life. But no, not
also,
that good.
I'm glad for them that they got Randall Scandal out of it because he really had to do something catchy to compete.
You had to, and I love seeing Lala's face as like the background. She just really does have such a perfect, beautiful, like her face should be in the background of everything. Yeah.
They're not going to have people click and tune in with his face. So yeah, that was a good move.
True.
And her face was always really pretty, but whatever she has done, because it has changed, she's done really, really well. But she was adorable in the first season we met her. So cute. So pretty.
Totally agree.
I don't know if we're going to go through everyone's looks. I don't know. I know people like to do that, but I feel like she's so beautiful and she's doing too much. Like I didn't like the leopard, the metallic, the shiny. Felt like it was like Jersey.
Actually, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But I mean, I don't know. She's just,
but she still looked flawless.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't like the style of her dress. But that's okay. So she denies auditioning for him. She said that that's not how they met. Right. That she got cast in something after they had kind of...
Yeah, that was a little confusing. So she kind of said, because they do show clips from back before where she says Randall came up to her, was it at Sir? Or and...
That's what she said.
Or I'm sorry, his assistant or whatever. And then she auditioned. And then it wasn't until they like went out later that she... gave it up on the first night. I think those were her words. I can't remember. Something like that, right?
Yep. Let him hit it the first night.
You.
Maybe
That was it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
I mean, tomato, tomato.
So she kind of was arguing that it wasn't that same night at Sir. It was whatever, which is really
Probably
semantics.
4 nights later.
Yeah. Really semantics. But But I thought it was interesting that she said she didn't feel like it was a casting couch situation with her, which you would think that would be a perfect time for her to be like, it was. I felt very much, you know what I mean?
It was, but I didn't realize it.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
But instead she said she didn't realize that that's how Hollywood worked. And I'm like, really?
And James Kennedy was like, or no, I think Tom Sandoval, somebody was like, I've known that since I was 4 or whatever.
No, I think James did say that. And I'm like, you're not 20. Like, that's a thing. You're in your 30s. Like, I feel like you would have known that.
And
but
she always wanted to be a star. So I'm kind of not buying that. But okay.
No, and at the very least, if it wasn't a complete casting couch situation, she latched onto him for the power. Like, she did what you do. Yeah. You get an older guy with money. Did she know he was married? She said she didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like...
I like to think she didn't.
Yeah, it sounds like or he fed her that they were... That's kind of what she's been saying, right? That, like, they were separated. She didn't know they were still working on their marriage, which I can see how, like... These men do this and and say this and they get manipulated. Sure. But also I can see if you don't want to look for it, you won't find it. So, you know, I'm not blaming anybody at all, but I know, you know, some of us, who was it when James said when he did a search for Oliver on his phone, he's like, I misspelled his name on Instagram and still found him and realized he was married.
Right.
If you're not wanting to look for it,
you can choose to, and that comes up later in reference to Ariana and Tom by Andy, which I didn't appreciate, but we'll get there. But that's a very powerful drug, kind of like ignorance is bliss, right? Like just choosing to operate in the truth you want to believe. So, but in retrospect, she says, there were red flags everywhere, and I can clearly see that now. And I find her to be quite sincere in it, and I think having a child will certainly soften you and intensify things, and I'm sure it's crystal clear right now. And it explains a lot of her like protection over Allie and like some of the choices she's made with different cast members. So I'm actually really liking Lala this season. Me too. I'm totally, I mean, she was also onto this like big time. So,
and her talking about, she was almost 4.5 years sober. So you do see like a clarity with her. I think you don't always see with, not that you can't drink and still have clarity, but she seems to like really be living her steps and all of that. And having a kid, like you said, where she, I don't know, you feel like there's a maturity to her that she didn't have. There's still below the belt, still Lala.
Yeah, she still goes and, she has
She's
her
still going to be
antics,
dirty.
Some of which 100%. And we still need that to keep her on, interesting on the show. But I think you're right. And I think when you're not drinking in a group like that, you get the ability to come out of it and see in with more clarity. And that's what she has right now. She's like almost the most reliable narrator at this point because everyone else is kind of so
in their own
immersed in like a haze of substance most of the time. The timelines included, like I bet like in 2 hours she could like crystallize the whole timeline for us in a way that no one else is able to. So yeah, we're excited for where she's at, even though it's kind of, I'm sure she has a long road ahead of her. But I wrote Schwartz push-ups. I guess they go to a break.
Yeah. This is when they go to lunch, I think.
Yeah. And he gets down and does some push-ups, which is
weird. And he couldn't do them for very long, which why start that?
He's never looked worse, by the way.
You know what? It's the same thing that happened with Craig. At some point, Craig became this puffy, booze-soaked
bod with no dad excuse. No puffy. They need water. They need rest.
Like your body's...
They need a vegetable.
Yeah. Their body just can't do it anymore. As someone whose body literally was fighting against them just a week ago, I get it. You're not going to look your best.
And they look older than they are. Like when I hear Craig say his age, you brought him up. I'm like, how is this dude not over 40? I always think he's 40 already. And he's like 30 something, young 30s.
Oof.
It's weird. Maybe he's 35, but still, that's a lot different than 40. Anyway, I And then this is the Sandoval to the trailer moment. Thoughts?
Did he change? Did he put on a black coat and get real dramatic?
He didn't have a jacket on, and he had a jacket on at the reunion. So he had like a black sweater and a coat.
Yeah, real dark.
And he was brooding. Yeah, he's just like a dark cloud moving to the trailer, goes inside. And
100 yards away from Sheena. I love that note every time.
So good. It just highlights the silliness.
It really does.
And this is where we learn that Raquel says she's not lied about anything except this affair, this 7-month intricate affair to the people closest who matter the most. I don't know if you can use that. I don't think it was proving what she thought it was proving.
No, it's not like I didn't lie about anything. I just lied about giving you a Diet Coke when it was a regular Coke or
being vegan. Like sometimes I eat cheese.
There you go. That's a much better one. But this is literally like you had to lie about everything around the clock, and you had to lie about your whereabouts, and you had to probably change contact information in your phone. Just the lies on top of lies on top of lies. I don't know. Yeah. One thing they haven't said clearly, but like we're supposed to infer, and that's fine, I guess. What was on that video that Ariana saw? All we know is it was the two of them on FaceTime, and they've not gone into more detail, which I appreciate.
Wait, did we talk about this offline or on the podcast? Maybe it was when you were in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You appreciate that? I'm like, someone ask what the video
I know, but I appreciate.
I want to hear them say
I don't want to get I don't want to hear whatever the words are for this, but yeah. But I also am like, just tell us, but in a way that won't make me throw up.
Yeah, right. I was expecting, I know I'm kind of jumping because doesn't Andy talk about the video with her? And
yeah.
I thought he was going to say, and we assume this was
or what was on the
intimate video. Like I was thinking Andy was going to say something and it was romantic, intimate, something like that. Obviously it was, but wait,
was it
screen record a FaceTime?
Honestly, this is going to make us sound old, but yeah, I think you must be able to.
I mean, you can, but doesn't it not get the sound? It doesn't matter. She saw the visual, whatever it was. And she knew it wasn't just the two of them
and why would you screen record with a call with anyone?
Well, for the visual of it to refer to later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We figured it out. Go back.
Okay. So then we see, anything else about that?
I just like when she's saying I don't really love the way it's coming across, talking about the intimacy. She's like, it looks like you had a solid relationship. And then I put this whole fashion show at lunch thing. When he's talking about at one point, Ariana would be like, I don't care what you wear, whatever. And then next thing you know, she's like, Tom, you're so good at fashion. And then boom, they're back on. What does that mean?
I don't know. But then they showed the clip of that. And her actual response to the green sequined pants was, I wouldn't wear those, or I don't love those, or something. And I thought that was generous.
Very generous. I love those, the flashbacks when everything's in black and white, but the color is on something just so gnarly.
Like Charlie's bikini top.
Yeah. It's so random where you're like, what?
So
it's somebody had a highlighter to do it. Yeah. I don't get it.
It's very greeting card, weird, Paris in black and white, but a red rose.
Yeah. Is that Schindler's List? Because
weird.
That's really
it's so dark.
Yeah.
Nope,
keep going.
But what's funny too about when Raquel starts questioning Tom and Ariana's relationship, it's that's the first time she was
Ever.
actually doubting him and taking him at his word. But it says on the screen 114 minutes earlier, which I just found funny. It's
I didn't even
not
see that.
2 hours or it's just that's very specific. They are 100 yards, 114 minutes. We are going to be a technical
I know
piece. It's evidence. It's all evidence.
And she's also saying like, or he's like, maybe we should have done this earlier. And she even says, you
and
think?
she's like, you think? Yeah.
That was
She
the
does have
brightest
some
thing.
moments of lucidity. It's that one. And there's another one. We'll wait till we get to it, where I just feel like she's clicked in. She's dialed in.
Yeah. It's weird.
And you
it's
realize
really weird. Go ahead.
she's been the missing piece, right? We have heard everyone on every podcast. We have seen everyone on Watch What Happens Live. She has been the missing person whose voice we have not heard, except that one random like Instagram when she was by the nail salon.
Oh gosh, that's PTSD.
That was like right after. But so I am kind of hanging on her every word and reading her face more than I certainly would before. But basically, so Tom Sandoval starts acting like a complete diva at this point. And I don't know if you want to look at it more sinister, but he's asking for the cameras to go down. I don't think he's in any position to be demanding of producers right now, but he basically wants to talk to her alone. He's like, I'm uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable. We're in a really delicate position here. Can we please have some privacy? And they're basically like, no.
Yeah.
They're all eating lunch on camera. It's being filmed. If you're together, we're filming. If you're alone, if you need a break by yourself, like that's fine.
Yeah.
You can take some time. I view this sinisterly. Do you think he wanted the cameras to go down to be like, hey, before you come out, let's like quickly.
For sure.
It's worse than I thought.
Yeah. And like, he didn't seem to really understand that she was watching the entire thing, which she didn't bother to tell him for like 30 minutes. She's like,
I know. She's like, yeah.
I've watched it all.
And like Saturday morning cartoons on.
Right.
Like,
so I think that
she's all like hand on, chin on fist, like watching. It was so weird.
Oh yeah. And I think when he realized that, he realized, oh no, like now the things I'm saying she's getting a live reporting on. So I'm going to have to clear up some things with her. And then also like, here's what we do in the future. Until you said that, I didn't really think of it too sinisterly. I knew he obviously wanted to get their game plan, but I do think with him not realizing she could see all of it, you know, it's like he's lying to two different groups of people and then now realizing they're hearing it. So he's got to get them
Everything's
somewhat together.
colliding.
Oof.
Also on the dark side, they're used to being in the dark.
Yeah.
So we saw them on the finale with cameras on being romantic and they couldn't do it. I think they actually, I'm sure part of the allure was like the hidden secrecy of it. And I don't think they know how to engage one another with cameras on in an appropriate, like, how do they be normal?
Yeah.
I think he wanted to also get into like that mode with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was all just so gross to me.
Yeah. It was, you're right. It was very gross. But yeah, they're freaking out. We've seen those paparazzi shots, right? Where the two of them are sitting out there.
Smoking and vaping. Ugh.
So much, so much lung things that they're really just not being appreciative for. And I don't appreciate them just taking
it's
it.
An attack. I feel attacked on your behalf.
There you go.
Also, I don't know what she's doing vaping. I'm like, you are too young and your skin is too good.
I know. They're just so young. This is like real Girlfriends in Paris all over again, where I'm like, we know the problems. Please stop.
I mean, at least they're in Paris. I don't know why. Something about being in the, like, by the trailer and the
1,000 yards or 100 yards away from Sheena that just makes it less romantic. Yeah, it's probably true.
100%.
And so, I don't really. Now we're going back, right? Did you have anything else there? We're back, and they're bringing Allie on, who is like kind of the whistleblower accidentally this season, right?
She like was a journalist with a scoop. She's like, anyone else think it's weird that I saw them at the Abbey together at 1 a.m. with no sign of Ariana? Yeah. I love that. Like, she saw that. I also really think I like Allie a lot.
I do too. And you know what? Like, it is hard for new people to come in there, and she's done a really good job.
Held her own.
But she doesn't really like have a bone to pick with anyone. She's just like, even with Raquel,
and nor does anyone have one with her.
Yeah. But Raquel, you know, she was like, if she doesn't have a problem with me, it's fine with me. And it could have been a much different. She could have gone in there aggressively, and James would have backed her up with that. Yep. So I didn't really take a whole lot of notes on this because she was sweet, and I just
same. I just wrote, I like Allie.
They're talking about James's drinking always.
Oh yeah, so she's on a break. I mean, I don't quite get their connection. I mean, it has to mean that she wants to just be on the show, and that's why she's dating him, which makes me question everything.
Hi
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had Simply Safe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With Simply Safe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day fiancé level contract drama. Simply Safe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, Simply Safe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get Simply Safe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new Simply Safe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear liners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you could pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
About her that I think is so solid. I'm like, but why? You seem like that's what we thought about Raquel, right? Like you're like a do-gooder who's really sweet. Allie seems a lot more with it than Raquel ever did. Like really well-spoken and confident. She's like a very quiet confidence. Raquel never had that. But I am kind of like, why do you want to be on the show?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
but I'm sure she's having fun with James, but he seems just like a lot to handle. But again, like Lala, I'm really enjoying James. I know what a problem he is, but this season he's just such comedic relief. I can't help
if there's one thing we know about this show, it's just seasons. Like from one season to the next, you like somebody, you don't like them, and you know it'll come back around. Like James,
right? It all comes out. in a wash.
Anyone that's like, I am a James stan or whatever, I'm like, well, you're kind of an idiot because he does like say these really horrific things, and he'll say it tomorrow. But I get like, but yeah, he's like fun in this moment, and he's not the worst in this moment that we know.
Right. He's been elevated to the number one guy in the group, which again, as was stated by all of them, not that hard when you're dealing with, the likes of the other men on the stage. I did write down that James keeps checking his hair and nails, which I also really enjoyed. Anytime the camera pans over to him, he's just looking at his nails sucking his cheeks in and making kissy faces, duck lips.
I want to see James
so much
on TV for the next 10 years just because of all the trash he gives to people older than him. And he's like, you're this, you're that, old man. Like, eventually you will be there.
Yep.
So what is your argument going to be then? Because age comes for all of us, my friend. It's
true. We're watching it in real time. Yeah.
We keep seeing
more bathroom breaks.
Yeah, more bathroom breaks. We don't see Charlie's not on this. She didn't do a whole lot, but she's a good. I feel like she's a good voice of reason, which is probably why she's not there. She just like kind of
she holds
Raquel
her own. Accountable. Yeah, and held her own. And I feel like she was a good friend to Raquel. And then when she kind of was like, actually, I think that's kind of not cool.
Yeah,
what you're doing. A couple of times I was like, good for her.
Right.
But I don't know. They don't seem interested in bringing her in much.
Yeah. Or Charlie doesn't. It could go either way. Or she might just be like, I'm over these people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. She came in that one terrible season and they've kept her and got rid of everyone else. But I don't know.
I hope Allie kind of comes around to the same place because I think Allie and Charlie have like places to go.
Yeah.
I did also write, so when like the camera pans around, we see James doing his like modeling like face stuff. Sandoval has like beady, shifty eyes, just scouring, like just so dark. And I don't envy him. I mean, he was in a really tough position, completely brought on by himself.
Right.
I don't feel bad, but just what he was projecting.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of ways to come out after this. And one could be like humble, you know, sad, but he just looked so angry and miserable. It just, it was infuriating.
I don't think I'm a compassionate person, but for some reason I have felt kind of bad for him in this.
Wow.
I know this could just be
This is surprising.
this could be a life is really short and I almost died kind of thing. But I read something and it was about Lisa Vanderpump actually. Remember she lost her brother to suicide, I think last year.
Yeah.
And so people were saying, how dare she stands up for him? And then realizing like, man, this is a hole he dug himself in. This is something he has to live with. There is a lot of pile on. And like, I don't know, like I do hope he can get his life together because man, this is,
same.
This is, and I know you do. But it's just so much. And
I want to be really clear about that. I think that's important that you brought that up because I also felt this a little bit towards Raquel at one point. Like she made a terrible mistake and she handled it as poorly as you can, and him too. But I've always said, and I think you and I talked about this offline, like they didn't murder anyone. And there was a minute when they were being treated like they were actual criminals, you know? And I don't think that's entirely fair. I think a lot of us have made mistakes that we wouldn't love for the whole world to be talking about. However, they've signed up for the show. It is part of it. And then it's their response after it's been exposed that's been equally, if not more horrific.
Right.
But I feel the same way. I do have compassion. I do hope they are okay mentally. I do think the eyes of the world hating you can really do
I
it.
can't imagine.
So, you know, it's a good time for some self-reflection and maybe like stepping out of the line.
yeah, well, that's the thing. He's touring and doing all of this. So he's still out there, which I understand too, that he has his band and he has these dates. So I don't know. I'm conflicted with the entire thing, but like, I don't know. I just want everybody to be okay. And even them. And, but it is hard to watch Raquel, like watching Sheena speak and Sheena cry and Raquel never a drop from her eyes. That's difficult.
Was to me, that was the arc of this season, this part 2 rather, which I didn't think was that interesting or overall compelling. That was the moment for me that it took that moment when Raquel was like, I'd actually never thought about this until right now. And she's kind of saying it pretty lightheartedly with a smile. This is when I'm like, you do yourself no favors. Sheena's also another one. We'll get to her who's having a really good season.
Is. I know.
She's saying all the right things. And she's also humble enough to say, I was totally wrong. I what do they say? Hitched your cart to the wrong horse?
Yeah.
Like big time. Like, and she's just humble enough to say, I got it wrong. And I think that's the difference. There's nothing Tom could say to make it okay to Ariana. But to all of us, it could really be a lot better if he was like, there's no excuse. It's nothing that was wrong in my relationship that caused me. I made my own choice. And I am just here to say, I'm sorry. And I don't expect forgiveness yet. Like, I hope in time, you know, there's just a different posture you could take where I think the public response would have been different. Ariana gets to have whatever like time she needs to work through that. But like, I think he's so hated because he's been so vile. Every step of the way.
Even the Howie Mandel thing, I feel like if they would have pushed back or had somebody, he had gone on with anybody else, it could have been better if it wasn't just him.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was too
Rewriting
easy
history.
of an interview where because he didn't have any pushback, it was like, what? This is your whole thing? And it was really gross. So I don't know. But back to the actual reunion, I guess.
How about it?
Now they're talking about what happened after Watch What Happens, right? Is that where you're at?
Oh yeah, or go ahead. Yes, we're there. That's exactly right.
So we're at when Sheena and Raquel were on Watch What Happened right after Sheena finds out that Raquel's having this affair. And then now we're kind of going through everybody's story of
version.
Right. Okay. So I don't have a lot of notes on that, but basically it's coming back to Sandoval. Ariana and Sheena are saying She never said she slapped her or punched her. You're right. And then was it Schwartz saying, no, I heard, this is where I'm kind of losing it, where I heard that
I
she
don't
did.
have that written down.
I could be making that up. But basically they're asking Sandoval, what happened? What did you hear? You were there. You heard. We were with you. What were the words? And he would not commit to anything, what he heard.
Well, the pause, the silence, you could hear the room noise.
Ooh.
That was, I mean, I have never heard anything like that in a reunion where you could hear like the sound stage humming.
It was
crazy.
so long of a pause because you could tell in that moment, like he cannot win. He cannot win.
No, it's a lose.
It's totally lose.
What did he end up saying when he finally
I wasn't there.
I didn't write it down.
Or wait, what did he say? Oh, he wasn't actually there. But then he like doubles down. He's like, no, I know she said punch, blah, 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 blah. So he ended up siding with Raquel, but like didn't seem like he really wanted to either.
I know. And I know you said that Tom Schwartz weighs in, and I don't have what he wrote down, but I think this is when Ariana just goes, shh, like just shushes. And I'm just like, yes, like they are like children. You have to shush sometimes. Like
this,
I don't even know which Tom that was directed to. Either one would be fine or both. But I loved the shush.
Yeah. I don't know. This kind of reminded me all of when on Southern Charm, things like took a turn and all the women were like, actually, no.
There was like a revolt one season finally after
years. And
I remember
all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Exactly that. And so now we're seeing Sheena. Sheena is just devastated by this entire thing. One thing I love about Sheena is everyone is her best friend. She literally refers to like, and then my best friends, and then it was my best friend. And I'm like, Sheena, we're going to have to put a little bit of separation there. Call them your close friend. Everyone can't be your best friend. And like, these best friends are screwing over your life. I don't know if you know this. You might not need a best friend.
Right. Let's like reassess. But she is so pure. Like, I really do think she is sincere. The way she is crying tears on behalf of Ariana, and also the hurt, like she has her own hurt in this. Like, I think the restraining order, the way she was explaining it, like this, like took away from my life. Like,
I can't
this
imagine.
is taking attention away from my daughter. I've had to deal with this nonsense and the betrayal. And then on behalf of Ariana, she was crying for all of it. And it was just, I mean, really, all of these people are lucky to have Sheena as a friend, frankly, because none of them deserve it.
And then like Sheena saying, how I forgot that she like paid for a place. Didn't she pay for a place for Raquel to stay? Like actually paid for an apartment. Raquel lived with them.
Well, she didn't say that. She's like, I set her up with an apartment, and I think it was Ariana was like, and paid for it. Like, she wasn't even going to say that. Like, she really went out of her way to help this girl, and she was on the wrong side of history, Sheena, and she's just owning it, and like, she's so mad.
Yeah, I just
sad. And, hurt. Yes.
I know. I felt for her. It was like the first time I feel like in one of these reunions, or at least in a while, where it was just someone's like, it was like a guttural, like just sobbing, and you just felt for her, and just, you know, she adores her daughter.
I didn't think there was anything performative about it.
No, I didn't either. I did write that Coachella ruins more lives than any other music festival, because they're talking about this open relationship thing again, that Raquel said that Tom said around that time that they were in an open relationship. It just feels weird that like that person wouldn't know. I don't know. It's just, it's the whole thing is just, it's too weird. It's too weird. Who knows?
It's too weird. Yeah. Yeah. That Coachella makes the Fire Festival look like
a
corporate conference.
Did I send you the Fire Festival cameo I got? Oh my gosh, I will send it to you. Kimberly from Date with Dateline and Kim from People Are Wild sent me one from Billy McFarland, and it's the funniest thing in the entire world. We'll have to post it on our page because it's so good. It's chef's kiss.
Please tell me that money goes towards the restitution.
That I don't. I'm not asking that. I did get invited to go to Fire Festival 2 on him. So just let's
wait. This was pre-prison?
No, this is like last week. This was like a get well soon, Melissa. It was so sweet. And I got it on the day I got out.
Please
so yeah, I'll send it to you.
Send it. Oh my gosh, they're the
They
best.
are.
That was a great idea.
It was perfect. But anyway, so that was Fire Festival.
It's really
similar
funny.
to that, yeah. So
That was a good time in life too. I liked that story.
yeah. So
Okay, so yeah, Tom is also blaming Ariana, saying this is what she was like when she was screaming at
Yeah.
him. This is what she was like our whole relationship, like whatever. And then I think it goes to the Andy Raquel segment, like the one-on-one.
yeah.
Is that what you?
Okay.
Did we miss something?
Now we have Schwartz sitting there. We're getting ready for Ariana to come. I'm sorry. We're getting ready for Raquel to come out. Wait, we've missed an entire thing, have we? No.
No, I think they cut to.
You're right.
She does make her entrance, but then they do the one-on-one for some context, and then we go back to
Got it.
her because Andy asks her, "How are you feeling about seeing Ariana in person?"
Oh, yeah.
And she says, "Scared." And I'm like, I believe you. That's the most honest thing you've said.
That's
ever.
a real one.
She looked like she was going to puke.
Yeah.
So, right? Doesn't it do that interview
Yeah.
and then she comes out?
You're right. So they have
Is
that.
it? Am I? I don't know.
But the only note I have before that is where Andy tells Schwartz, "Hey, you're moving over a seat," and Ariana's like, "No, you're not." So they can't sit next to
I
each
missed
other.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. That's good.
Yeah. So he was like, "No." So that way, Ariana couldn't. I'm sorry. That way, Raquel couldn't.
Were
sit
they
next.
really going to seat her next to her? It's kind of
No,
cruel.
I think it was going to be Sandoval, Raquel, and then Schwartz. So Schwartz would move over
Oh, Ariana was saying no to him sitting next to her?
to Sandoval sitting next to Raquel. So she wanted it Sandoval, Schwartz, Raquel, not Raquel sitting in between them next to.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I don't blame her. Just like I know she was controlling
missed
things.
that.
Yeah, it was good. So yeah.
Yeah, she was not apologizing for anything.
Oh, can I interrupt this for 1 second and go off on a tangent
Yeah,
about something that's okay? It's all connected.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the beginning of the finale where they ask Ariana and Sandoval? They say, "Do you want to talk about this?" And they both say no. Do you remember at the very beginning of the season how the season opened up? It was Katie and Schwartz, and they said, "Are you ready to talk about this?" And they said no. How good was that? Great editing.
Melissa, I'm so glad you
I didn't come up with that.
called
Someone else
back.
did, but it's amazing.
I didn't remember that, but yeah, that is this editing job. This whole season is stellar.
It's beautiful.
My daughter started watching, just jumped in just for the reunions and the finale, and so she might go back and start watching the whole show. But she's hooked, just not knowing much.
Yeah.
She asked, "This is great. I know you know this. I'll just tell our listeners." She asked if Lisa Vanderpump was Sandoval's mom. And what was the other question she had? Oh, the first time Sandoval appeared on camera, because I'd prepped her a little of what Scandoval was. She said, "That's him."
I know.
Like, that's the guy this is about. I think in her head, she was ready to see the hottest guy on TV. I felt so bad, but that's what.
Well, listen,
I
a
had
few
to
seasons
work with.
ago, it would have been a little bit better, but now
No,
it's
he would
wearing
never
on
have
him.
made her.
It's wearing on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Give these guys an Emmy.
I know. Okay, so Andy is now talking to Raquel. Sid.
And
Go ahead.
right, sorry, I have that she's wearing her accountability blazer. She's like, my shoulders are covered, so I'm gonna take responsibility.
Accountability.
I want to market a line
so
of them. I think
perfect.
like
You really should.
this is what you wear to show that you are remorseful.
They call on Teen Mom, Leah wears blazer, and they'll call her Blazer Leah when she's like standing in her power and stuff.
It's a personality, yeah. Yes.
Which I'm wearing a
Yeah,
blazer
you
next week for
absolutely-
something, and yeah, I want to feel powerful.
Yep.
The whole thing.
Or accountable.
Yeah. Or accountable.
So Andy's saying how many cues Ariana ignored. I mentioned
Oh,
this
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Did not like that. He's like, did it feel like she was kind of ignoring cues? And she admits, yeah, that was my mindset at the time. I was blaming Ariana based on, what Tom was telling me about their relationship. And she did say, and now I feel really ashamed of that
Yeah.
because it doesn't seem to match with what was going on. So that was a bit of a concession that I think was
Something for her.
like essential for her to have and to articulate.
Yeah. They talked. Oh, he asked basically, what did you think best case scenario? Would you guys still be friends? And basically, she thought that after this was all over, before it came out this way. Probably if they had properly broken up and all of this, eventually they would have been friends, like in the Kristen Doty kind of way.
Totally.
Because it's all very incestuous in this entire group.
Yep.
Just it needs enough time, and they're all like fine with everything. But like this was a wild one. When she said that, I'm like, girl, you really thought this is a lot.
She does seem truly shocked at how it all went down. Like, wow, this was a way bigger deal than I thought it would be.
Yeah, like it's completely shocked. And then, Raquel's talking about, they've talked, have you talked about the reunion? Yeah, that's like all we've talked about.
Andy said. Yeah, well, she doesn't answer the prepping question. Andy's like, did Tom prep you for the reunion? She's like, well, obviously we've discussed, how it's been, what might happen. So she answers it without saying a flat out yes, but like, he has been like scared, what, because she is not capable of like, I don't think handling a lot of complex
things.
Thoughts at once.
But also like, I mean, it makes sense with a thing this big, even if it was an honest thing, whatever, like a story this big, if there was me and somebody else, I would be like, okay, let's discuss what's happened. Yeah. So that doesn't seem crazy to me, but when she's saying basically they were trying to get together and come up with a story to still lie to Ariana, to be like, when they broke up, they just get together, Ariana and Tom break up, then now they're dating and that's basically it. There was no past. Like, come on, girl, come on. Yeah. Like best case scenario, none of this. There was never a best case scenario in this. It was always the worst.
Yeah, like levels and degrees of worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that was pretty short. And then they have her come out and we're witnessing a literal walk of shame.
Yes, it's true.
I almost felt bad for her. I think walking out on a set like that
was
when
wrong.
You're the last one and everyone's seated, I would be nervous even if I was the hero of the season. Like when you're walking and you're alone and you're in heels and a dress, I'd be like, I'm going to fall. And inevitably you fall,
Absolutely.
right? It's like, so I felt for her.
But here's one thing. Do you remember this? During this is, oh my gosh, did we miss when Sheena left? We missed when Sheena left, right? And she gives Andy her gold.
Oh, the gold record, Good as Gold, the actual gold album. Yes.
But they're playing the song Good as Gold as Sheena's leaving. Right. Juxtaposed with Tom Sandoval, what is he actually saying? He said something like, I'm blowing this. You hear him off. Yes. What? He said, I'm blowing this. I watched it twice. He said, I'm blowing this. Like, and you hear Good as Gold.
Sandoval?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say the other one?
No, you said Tom. I'm just making sure. Tom Sandoval said, I'm blowing this as in his
who knows?
Performance at the
That's
reunion?
what I'm thinking. It just shows, remember, because he leaves the stage because she's like,
he doesn't want to stay. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm good.
So he's outside. So they're playing the song. I don't think it was playing outside, but it's playing over him saying outside, I'm blowing
my
this.
gosh. It was almost like a hot mic moment.
Maybe.
I have to go back. I want to watch that and hear that. I did not. Who does he say it
just
to?
himself.
Or is he just talking
outside.
to himself?
He says, I'm blowing this.
That's like, I feel that. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I miss that.
So now Schwartz. So we're with Raquel coming in. Now, do you remember this with Schwartz taking out this pill bottle?
Oh, yes.
Right before that, do you hear what Sandoval says? He says, green light to Schwartz. Then Schwartz
what does that
takes
mean?
out
like
the Xanax. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh. Does Xanax work that fast?
No, I think it was totally performative.
It's a shtick. It
does. As someone who recently was given quite a bit of Xanax, it does work quickly.
I thought it
but not like
quickly, but not like in 2 minutes or 30 seconds.
Not an IV
like she's
thing.
coming, take it. No.
No, you're gonna have a little bit of time. But he says green light. Schwartz takes it out, and then
Melissa, I feel like you watched like the uncut version.
Well, I did watch it on Peacock after, but
okay. I'm gonna watch the end.
Watch the last like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He takes it out, and then everybody's asking what it is. He says it's Xanax, and then
I know that was
Sandoval's
so
like, you don't have to tell them what it is. It's his prescription.
It's your private medication. Yeah.
After Sandoval says to him, what is that? It was all just to be like, I don't know if it was meant to be lighthearted or what. It was just, it did not land. Whatever it was, did not land.
It was all so weird. And he was oddly defensive of him. Like, you don't have to answer that. Like, Oh, that was all just so weird, in very poor taste, I thought. Like, doesn't help any of their, like, kind of the reputation of the show.
No.
Like, honestly, if I were Andy, I would be like, can you guys keep, like, your meds off
At
this
least be
set?
like James and go to the bathroom.
Right,
Have some respect.
exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, that was weird. So if you have watched it and you missed that, literally watch the last 10 minutes because
Definitely rewatching that.
yeah, it made me, it like kind of threw me off. But just to hear that.
It's kind of eerie.
It is. I just don't get what the point was. So anyway, so now we know going into next week, they're saying the last 5 minutes is supposed to be jaw-dropping.
Right.
Do you have any theories about what this thing is that could be why they're waiting for people to sign contracts? So that's been the big thing. One of the producers says they have not given out contracts until the cast sees all 3 parts because something will come up.
Okay. I have a question before I give a theory,
Sure.
and I know you have a theory. This is what I can't get my head around, and I know it's just I'm being dumb. Help
No.
me.
I mean,
I'm being
no, you're not being dumb.
Bambi-eyed.
Okay.
No, listen. How could something have happened at the filming of the reunion that they don't know happened, that they're not going to know?
One-on-one
is
interviews.
What you just and
What if it was a
so
one-on-one
you're saying
interview?
it's something that was discovered in a one-on-one that they didn't all see, and that so they're saying wait till the cast sees part 3 of the reunion, right?
Yeah.
So you think it's a one-on-one?
That would
Okay,
make
that makes
sense.
because I'm thinking what could have happened that none of them knew.
Right. They would have all been there.
Okay.
So
But then would there be an NDA sign? Because how would you know if it happened to one person that they haven't told everybody or somebody?
well, I'm thinking like, so Raquel sits down with Andy, Tom sits down with Andy, Ariana. In
Ariana.
one of those interviews, if say Raquel said even more, which is one of my theories.
Well, she's the loose cannon for sure.
And so if that's what happened, and then now they have to decide, say, okay, here's a theory I saw today. And I hope and
saw a theory
pray
too.
that this is
Okay.
not true. But
Okay.
you hear Sheena say Raquel lived at their house. You hear Sheena say that she could sleep in their bed. You hear Sheena say that she did sleep in their bed
Vegas.
and different things like that.
That was weird.
Yeah. I read a theory that Brock could be
Brock.
involved. I don't want to believe that, and I don't want to even perpetuate that. But that is one that I did see where I thought that would be one if people heard that and Sheena heard that, or Sheena finds out about it or whatever, like how that could definitely destroy. I mean, how do you come back
Oh
from
my
that?
gosh.
So anyway, that's just my theory that can ruin lives. But I didn't come up with it, so I'm not ruining lives.
Right. So here's why I don't know that could possibly
fine with
be
that.
it. I agree. It would be like groundbreaking and earth shattering. But don't you think Brock would get ahead of that and tell Sheena before she is out there saying all the things she's been saying? Don't you think he'd be like, hey, you need all the information? Because that's going to be,
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be nothing. That's like as hurtful as, that's like almost the most hurt. That would be so bad if he did that. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's get off my
I read a
theory.
theory.
I don't want mine to be true.
Well, it's not yours. You
True,
took it from
true.
the
I
internet.
stole
and I
it.
took this one. I wish I could come up with a theory. I haven't come up with anything on my own. I did read what if I read that what if it's Sandoval and Raquel hooked up while she was with James?
Ooh, okay.
That's like, and that him paying for the engagement party is that weird dance that they do that they seem to like when she was flirting with Schwartz, and that the Schwartz thing. So part 2 of the theory is that was revenge. So the it was pretty convoluted, but it was like, what if they hooked up and Sandoval was like, you have to break up with James. I'll break up with Ariana. She broke off the engagement with James. He didn't hold up her end of the bargain. Schwartz gets introduced as an idea and she does it to kind of, tease / torture Sandoval. That's pretty dark. But yeah, that's what I heard. Cause James would go ballistic and that would change a lot.
Yeah. Other theory that I definitely probably heard, I feel like something more could have happened with Schwartz and maybe Sandoval doesn't know, or I don't know. This is just me coming up
like
with,
more than the kiss.
and then there's,
That's almost the most likely scenario.
oh, and in the point for the first theory, I saw where remember whenever they were at the camping thing, glamping thing, and
Glamping,
yeah,
yeah.
And Tom Schwartz says, Brock,
She has a type.
Tom, she has a type. And we realize now that he was giving all these clues all along, like outing Tom or outing Sandoval. So I don't know. That's just.
I think he was wanting to like force his hand to be like, deal with this, bro. Because this could slip really easily and it could be me. And I think he was exerting what little power he probably felt like he had. That's almost the most likely of scenarios, is that more happened with Schwartz than we know. But that doesn't seem so like, I guess Schwartz or Sandoval could get upset about that.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's a lot. It'll be interesting to see.
It better deliver, because
I know,
to hear a producer say something like that kind of does send you into these extreme theories that we just put out. Like, what if it's something stupid?
Yeah. Well, then we can edit the end of this podcast. I don't think this podcast will be the most popular episode after about a week anyway, once Scandoval is finally over. So,
seriously,
we do have a lot of new listeners. Thanks to you going on Moms and Mysteries, lots of new people came over. So thank you if you are new to listening.
Yeah,
this isn't
welcome.
our normal episode, but this was a lot of fun. But Rebekah, before we go, can we please discuss what we're watching? We have to.
Absolutely. Yeah. For new listeners, after every episode, when one of us shares a story, we do a little, not a game, segment, if you will, where we share what we're watching via 3 clues. So yes, Melissa is dying to tell me, and I just really didn't enjoy saying Melissa is dying.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, it came out and I just got like my stomach dropped.
Oh, well, yeah. Living that for a few days.
Okay. Melissa is living to tell me about what she's watching.
Honestly,
thriving and surviving.
To not be dramatic, I truly am. I almost think I survived just to be able to share this with you. Here are my 3 clues.
Okay.
I think it's ID. Yeah, I think it's on the ID network.
I haven't seen anything there in a while. Okay.
Little person.
Don't know.
Ukraine.
What?
Yes. Rebekah, I'm about to change your life. My breathing's actually changing.
Is it new or a new season of something
brand
existing?
New. It's a story.
Tell me, I don't know.
It's a story called The Mysterious Case of Natalia Grace.
Oh, I got a pitch to put this on my other podcast that isn't live. And I was like, what is this? Okay.
The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. So I've been following the story for years because it's
really?
Yes. So the whole
I've never heard of it.
Oh my word. The whole idea with this story, this family, this American family adopts this girl from the Ukraine. Her name is Natalia. She is a little person, and they feel that she has duped them somehow. Doesn't know. They think that she is older than she presents. Right?
But no, they thought she was
younger.
No?
Sorry.
Yes, I have heard of this story. I didn't know the names. Okay, go on.
So she's 6, but they are claiming that she comes to them and she's already gone through puberty, all this stuff. Like right away, they figure that out. Then they think that she's trying to kill them. So basically, when we find out about this story, a few years later, they are being charged with child neglect because they literally had her living in an apartment by herself at what was 10 years old or what was 22 years old. Either she was 10 and they let a 10-year-old live in an apartment by herself, or she was 22 because they don't have the age right. Because they do think she's older and they can't confirm all of this.
What? Is she mentally okay? Could she live on her own?
She did it for more than a year.
Oh my
2
gosh.
separate times. So basically it's like, I think it's a 6-part series. I just finished it this morning because I have priorities.
Wow.
It was 2, I think, a night. It is the most engrossing thing I've seen in so long. So it's only from the father's perspective, the adopted father's perspective, and then they interview other people, but Natalia is not interviewed for this. She does have a special coming out like next month, where it's like a follow-up where they're going to talk to her. The mom isn't. There's an older brother that is, and that's it. I mean, other people interspersed, but that's like the close connection.
Okay.
The dad is so incredibly unlikable that it makes it, at some point I'm like, I hope she was trying to kill you, which isn't a nice thing to say, but like,
Right. No, he's
I've
a
been
monster.
to almost the other side and I was still pulling for that. So you know it's bad. But he's so unlikable and so, like, you just don't believe him. But like also something's off. So you're just like,
And was this all recent? Like
within
when
the
did this
last
happen?
10 years. So he just went
Oh
to
my
trial
gosh.
for this back in November. And so it's leading up to it. It's got parts of the trial in it, or like the prep for the trial. And
Whoa.
it's an exclusive look. I mean, it's very, if you don't know the story, it's still completely fascinating, but I am like obsessed with it. And I've been waiting for this
Okay.
to come out.
Wow. Oh, I'm definitely going to watch. What, don't tell me yes or no, but don't tell
Okay.
me what
Sure.
the specific is. Does the show conclusively tell us how old it was and is?
Yes. If you take
Okay.
all of the information that is given to us, and I have no reason not to believe it, then yes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
where
Okay.
it gets crazy is the trial and how that is handled with her age. That's what doesn't make any sense.
Where did this take place?
Indiana.
Where were these people from? Indiana. Okay.
They literally
Oh my
moved
gosh.
to Canada and leave her in Indiana. So then it becomes a trial of,
Even if she's 22, that's
Exactly.
pretty messed up if they adopted this person.
and she has like special needs and stuff. Like there are things that she needs.
Oh my
She's on a
gosh.
second floor apartment. Just, it is,
What?
it's wild. But I will say the beginning, how you kind of feel and you think, maybe you kind of go back and forth a little bit, not very much.
Okay.
But eventually once you've seen the dad for 5 minutes, you're like, I'm just on whatever side you're not on.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So yeah, it's wild.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
please watch it and please tell me. And if you're watching it, please tell me, because I'm just losing
I
my mind.
did not see that coming. I did not think that's where we were
sorry.
going.
I went off on that.
Oh, it's going on the list.
Yeah.
No. I'm excited. Now that you're saying it, like this email I got just came to me, and I think I've heard rumblings about this, like on Twitter. or
Oh
something,
yeah.
or people talking about it. I don't know why I thought it was like a historical case. I thought it was like old timey. So I
Oh,
was,
yeah.
like less
Yeah, I know.
interested, which says everything about me.
I'm with you.
There's some historical things I like get intrigued by, and some I don't. Okay, weird. Okay, well, mine's very different. And your clues are Paramount Plus.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek remake. But it's not a Dawson's Creek. remake.
Oh, I know exactly what this is. Fatal Attraction.
You're so good. Yes. So Joshua Jackson, who I haven't seen in much. I know he's done a lot. I'm sure he has. Who from Dawson's Creek is starring in the remake of a TV series of the 1978 movie Fatal Attraction, which starred Michael Douglas. And this is Joshua Jackson playing that lead role, and Lizzie Kaplan plays the stalker.
I love her. I think she's so good.
Good. And Amanda Peet plays the wife. And my husband had his first commercial with Amanda Peet for Gatano jeans.
For what?
Pretty hot stuff. Gatano
Oh,
jeans.
yes, of course.
Yeah. Peak like 89, 90. She's done a little better
It's
than
okay.
my husband.
Not in life,
But,
but maybe in commercials.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
And eyebrows. She has great eyebrows. Not that your husband has bad ones, but she does have really stellar eyebrows.
She does. She's got great hair, great teeth, great smile. They made her look so tired in this show. I feel so bad because she's so beautiful. But they really make her look like the haggard housewife, like as if like maybe we'll be more sympathetic to him cheating. Not working. We're watching Vanderpump Rules. Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm on episode 6 and I think there's 7 or 8.
Okay.
And I mean, I watched that movie, but it had been a while. I know the major plot points, but this picks up basically Joshua Jackson comes out of prison. Like basically he gets paroled.
Okay.
And he is now on a mission to try to have his conviction overturned because he's saying he's innocent. And so it goes back and forth in time from present day to back when it happened. So you're seeing a remake, you know, obviously a different version of the incident, and then him now. And like he had a young daughter when it happened, and now she's in college, and like they reconnect, and then the wife's perspective, and very, very well acted, very scary. I mean, Lizzie Kaplan is so good and so scary, and like, yeah,
I want to see that.
It's really good.
I like him.
It's just a good. I like him too. I think he's really great in it. And, you know, there's no excuse. He made a terrible choice. But the difference between him, and I know this is scripted.
I know. I'm like, wow.
He decides to come clean. I mean, infidelity is very common. And so couples do have to choose to get through it. And this is kind of a way in which it's possible because he isn't pushed against a wall. She actually was threatening him. So he did feel like he had to get ahead of it. He actually was kind of pinned against a wall, but he does tell her. And it's just it was a very honest, real depiction of a marriage, like encountering that scenario. Right. He was trying to do the right thing. And then, you know, but like, you know, didn't really work out great. And yeah, it's really, really good, but like it's got that Hitchcock feeling. I mean, it is like,
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's been fun. I'm watching that with my daughter too.
Oh, nice. He was in The Affair, which I really only watched the first season of, but he was really good in that.
Wait, who was the woman in that? Because I'm trying to remember if I watched that. I feel like I started it and didn't finish.
Lady from ER, and then I don't know what her name is, but she has fish
Juliana Margulies?
No.
No.
The lady I'm obsessed with that was the main girl. She has like she's like a very unique look. And it might just be like,
ER?
No, she's not. She was the one he had an affair with, but then the lady from ER was his wife. And so I don't remember. I don't remember. But anyway, I heard that was a very toxic workplace. So I just don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But anyway, that's the last thing I saw Joshua Jackson in, and he was really good.
He's really good in this.
Oh, good. I was wondering. I would hope that wouldn't be a flop. When I saw what it was, I was like, that's such a good, you know.
That could go either way. Yeah. No, it's done really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So maybe we should refresh clues for next episode.
Okay.
Since it's been a little bit. You are doing a story next time, and your clues, let me see if I remember them.
Let's see if you remember them. I'll pull it up while you're guessing them.
Brother. Florida.
Brother, it's singular.
Oh, sorry. That's right. I did that the first time too. Singular brother, Florida, and I don't remember the third. VH1.
Yes, good job. Yes.
Okay.
And we have had somebody guess it. I've seen somebody guess it. Yes. So nice job. And
yeah, someone's always guessing. You guys are so good.
It's always fun. But I've already found new things this week. Like it just kind of popped up.
And everything happens for a reason, Melissa. You were in the
I know. I know.
What a horrific thing to say in circumstances like that. See, it's so good you were in the hospital last week and having oxygen because
I know I had a lot of lack of oxygen. No, doing great. Glad to be here. Can't wait to do that in 2 weeks. This was fun to get a little recap. We haven't been able to deep dive Scandoval.
Yeah.
So
yep. Very fun. Thanks for doing it.
Always great
Thanks
to
for
catch
listening.
up with you.
And are you back on Moms and Mysteries as planned?
This Tuesday will be my first episode back. We did a replay last week, and it's an update episode of a story, the story of Jared Bridegan, where it stands now.
There's a lot of developments.
Tons.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so
Crazy.
we're doing that this week.
Good. You guys are doing a lot of good work around that case, and yeah. That's great. I'm glad to hear an update.
Me too.
I look forward to it.
Well, Rebekah, do you want to do this again in 2 weeks? But slightly different?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can follow us on Instagram is where you'll most likely find us. Sometimes your DMs are getting filtered. I will eventually find them. So sorry for late responses, but I do try to get to all of those. Just really follow us on Instagram. Yeah. And we have a website too, criminalityshow.com. We used to say 5 things. Now we're like, hey, follow us on Instagram and we hope we'll write you back is basically
no, you're good about that.
But just keep subscribing to the show and listen and tell your friends.
Yes.
Write a review.
Yeah. So many nice reviews. I absolutely love reading the reviews. They're just fun and totally get us.
We got a message the other day where someone said that they liked our humble chemistry, and I had to sit with that for a minute. I'm like, that is really kind.
That is so kind. Yeah.
Like, what a sweet, thoughtful thing to say. And I never particularly thought of us as like a humble chemistry, but I like it.
I like it a lot.
Now I'm bragging about how.
Yeah.
Now I'm
like it's
bragging
going
about
in
a
the wrong
compliment we got in
direction.
private. It wasn't even a review.
Gosh, okay.
They're going to go back and retract it. This is disgusting. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.